Now, hopefully I can sit down and do this. I've done this a couple times, but distractions keep happening. So, here we are again. But y'all wouldn't know that. So, this is a nice little story time about the time I should have been on live PD, but wasn't. So, there's an officer that's typically on live PD a good bit. His name is, for the Richland County Sheriff's Department. I just looked it up. It's Corporal Lorraine, and I had a run-in with him probably about 6 or 7 years ago. This is when I was living on 5 acres in Hopkins, had a small farm, 50 rabbits, 50 chickens, 10 to 15 ducks, 4 goats, a pig, small farm. Had a giant garden that the pig destroyed and the goats. But this isn't about all that. While we're out there, we had neighbors we were dealing with, and I did things to distance them from us, like they would park next to my windows and stuff at night, in the middle of the night, just loud as fuck for no reason. And I don't know, they're always doing some shit. Like one dude was trying to hotwire the electrical box so they get free electricity. Well, it's the middle of the night and they're over there tapping around. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He jumped about 5 foot and was like, shit, and took off, so yeah. Anyway, I almost got his ass. I seen some sparks. Sugar, stop. I seen some sparks. And well, anyway, I do stuff like go cut a bunch of saplings, grab some post hole diggers, and run a starter fence so I could get a little bit of distance from them. And well, that helped with them in their cars parking in the middle of the night, but not so much with their dogs that were attacking my farm animals. So, called animal control out a few times. Animal control didn't do anything, so I was like, look, man, drop some traps. Because if you guys know me, if anybody gets in trouble for anything, it's going to be me. I don't know why, just the way world works for me. You'll find out as the story progresses. So anyway, I'm gone for the day, and I've been working on all this stuff slowly but surely. And I come home that evening, and my wife's like, all right, we got one of the dogs trapped. So we call animal control, and animal control can't get out there. And so we leave the dog. She said she almost trapped 2 of them, but when she fired the gun, one of them ran out and the other one ran in. So we got one of them. And so by the time I come home, the neighbors are having a dispute. The police are over there. One police officer's standing there, kind of posted, keeping his eye on shit around him. The other one is talking to the people who are having the dispute. Well, apparently they're arguing about the dog that didn't show back up. And so the one police officer with his thumb up his ass, they're finally sitting there looking around, and he sees the dog that we trapped. And he's like, there's a dog right there. Well, they all start walking over to the property. So I walk out and I'm like, hey, stop. No trespassing. Stay off my property. And I walk out to meet them at the property line that I had made with the post. And there was a stringer running to make sure it was straight. And there were signs up. Well, the officer comes over and he demands me to release the dog, and I refuse. And I'm like, it's private property. Your words hold no weight here. And he's like, he doubles down. You're going to release the dog or I'm going to arrest you. And I'm like, well, it sounds like you're going to have to arrest me, but everything I'm telling you I did legally and lawfully, and if you arrest me, you're fucking up. And we have this conversation, go back and forth, and he grabs the string for my runner up. He's like, what the fuck is this going to do? And I'm like, that's a visual representation of the property line. That's for people like you and these jackass neighbors. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And you see that sign that says no trespassing down there? Well, dog can't read that. Well, no fucking shit. But the homeowner can, and the homeowner, can have her dog on a leash like the law says. And, I just keep going back and forth with this jackass. Stop. Keep going back and forth with this jackass, explaining the law. Tell him I did everything legally and lawfully. Arguing. And this is why I can't stand cops. They're fucking ego dicks, and they don't know the fucking law. They don't know shit about the fucking law. They don't even know simple common law, man. Like the most common laws that you should know. Like leash laws. So I'm like, look, man, you're gonna shut the fuck up and get on the fucking radio, or you're gonna fucking arrest me and be done with it. But that dog is not going off the property, because I'll whip my gun out and I'll kill the dog before I release it, is what I told him. I was like, you need to go get on your radio and stop threatening me and fucking do your due diligence. Well, I mean, we were just back and forth, and I refused to back down. I'm not backing down. And I won't back down. If you guys know me at all, I don't back down. You better fucking just arrest me or whatever the fuck you're gonna do. Go ahead and run your cocksucker. Anyway, he decides to pull his head out of his ass and go get on the radio. Well, he gets on the radio. He comes back. Will you shut up, bird? He comes back with a completely different tune, man. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I talked to animal control. Yeah, good. You should have done that 30 minutes ago instead of arguing with me for 45 or whatever the fuck it was. When we were out there, it was daylight. And by the time he left, it was dark time. So this just kind of shows you how long it took, how long he was over there. They was over there for hours dealing with this shit. And I probably dealt with him for like an hour and a half, 2 hours max. But, yeah, got on. And then, you know, animal control's like, we can't get out there today. And I'm like, look, lady, you better fucking make a way to get out here, because this officer said if I don't release this dog, I'm going to jail, and I'll shoot the dog before I release it. So she's like, oh, yes, sir, threat of arrest. All right, I'm on the way. And she did. She's like, she was there within a couple hours to pick up the dog. But I wasn't backing down. The best thing about all this was these people were getting evicted not too shortly after this. And so as they were getting evicted, I volunteered to help do the clean out, get all this shit out the house and on the roadside. That's how much I like my neighbors. If I actually liked them, I would have been like, yeah, you know, whatever. I wouldn't care. But anyway, helped out with that. And guess who happens to be there? No, not Corporal Lorraine, or Lorena, whatever his name is. But his superior officer was there. So I pulled him to the side and I said, hey, man, you know your officer Lorena that was out here the other day, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, you know, he's on live PD and all that, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a great officer. I'm like, yeah, well, you got to review his body cam footage of being out here the other night. He was threatening to unlawfully and illegally arrest me and detain me and do all this shit and I did everything legally and lawfully. You know, I had this dog trapped. He kept swearing up and down he was going to arrest me if I didn't let it go. Well, I never let it go, and animal control came to get it. And I was just like, look, man, I know. And this is when I found out he was in the Marines. I'm like, okay, great. You know, he's got the structure, whatever. But when he's here in America on private property, we don't follow orders. We don't. I'm smart enough to think and figure shit out for myself. I don't need that kind of structure. I don't need to be told what to do. I don't follow orders. You know, there's nobody other than the Lord above that commands me, period. That's the way I see it. So, yeah, anyway, I got him kicked off live PD, and typically he would have been on live PD that night. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but anyway, luckily for him, no camera showed up, because, yeah, I dog walked him, and he did the walk of shame. I'm kind of proud of that, too, because he's threatening to arrest me, you know, take my freedom and all kinds of other shit. Yeah, which, that shit ain't cool. You know, so I went through the proper channels to address that issue as well. So do what I can when I can, you know. Stand up for what you believe in, and don't back down, you know. Stay true to you. That's about it. The time I should have been on live PD, but wasn't. And I got a police officer kicked off because, you know, I guess he thought America is just like the military and you just have to follow orders. I don't know. I guess he got a little reality check there. Yeah. It would have been a great educational course for people to see. I wish I had the. I wish I could FOIA that. If I could remember the dates and stuff, I might try to, but I probably wouldn't get it. They haven't released any other FOIAs for me. Anyway, that's the story time. Much love. God bless. Cats out.